Hello, I'm Younwoo Choe from We Learn to Share. In this video, we will learn about different solutions for cubic and quartic equations. Let's start off by looking at what cubic and quartic equations are. A cubic equation is a polynomial equation of degree 3. Its general form is x to the power of 3 plus ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A quartic equation is a polynomial equation of degree 4. The general form is x to the power of 4 plus ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals 0. So how do we solve them? One method you can use is factoring. Factoring involves finding two binomials that multiply to give the cubic or quartic equation. You generally use these equations when using the factoring method. However, you will soon notice that you cannot fully solve an equation of degree higher than 2 by only using this method. So what can you do instead? You can use these two methods together, factor theorem and synthetic division. First, let's take a look at the factor theorem. A polynomial equation of f prime x has a factor of x minus c if and only if f prime c is equal to 0. Let's take a look at an example together. If you plug in 1 to this equation, as you can see, we get 0. So in this case, we can say that f prime 1 is 0. Now let's take a look at synthetic division. Synthetic division is a simplified method for dividing a polynomial by a binomial of the form x minus c. Now let's take a look at an example. Let's say that we were to divide this equation by this equation. What we're gonna do right now is write down the coefficient of the equation that is not in the form of x minus c. And then since if we plug in 2 into this equation, we would get 0. We write down 2 over here. We bring down the 3, and then we multiply the 3 with the 2. Then we get 6. Then we add minus a plus 6, which is minus 2. Multiply again. Add again. Multiply again. And then add again. Now we can say that the quotient is 3x squared minus 2x plus 2. And then the remainder is 6. Since we've studied different methods for solving cubic and quartic equations, let's take a look at a few practice questions. If the two imaginary roots of x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0 are alpha and beta, what is the value of 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta? So we're going to first start off by using the synthetic division method. If we plug in x equals 1 into this equation, we get 0. So we are going to write 1 over here. And then we are going to write down the coefficients of this equation. We're going to bring the 1 down, and then multiply, add, and repeat that a few more times. We can rewrite this as this equation. Since we want to find the value of two imaginary roots, we don't want to look at x minus 1. And according to Vietti's theorem, alpha plus beta equals 1, and alpha beta equals 2. And 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta can be also written as alpha plus beta over alpha beta. If we plug in 1 and 2 into alpha plus beta over alpha beta, we get 1 over 2, which is 1/2. So we can say that the value of 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta equals 1/2. Now let's take a look at a practice question involving a quartic equation. What is the value of the sum a plus b of the real numbers a and b so that the quartic equation for x has two imaginary roots and one set of multiple roots? So first of all, we're going to start off by substituting x squared with t. Then we can rewrite this equation as this equation. For this quartic equation to have two imaginary roots and one set of multiple roots, this equation needs to have 0 and a negative real number as roots. And according to Vieti's theorem, minus a is lesser than 0, which means that a is greater than 0. And now let's take a look at the constant. This equation is the same as this equation, and we can rewrite this as this equation so that we can figure out that a squared minus 4 equals 0 and b equals 1. So a squared equals 4, which means that a equals minus or plus 2. But since a should be greater than 0, a is 2. So if we add 2 plus 1, we get 3. So the sum of a plus b is 3. In this video, we've learned about different methods for solving cubic and quartic equations. This is it for this video, and please leave comments down below if you have any questions. And also make sure to like and subscribe if you want to support us. Thank you!